Hello students, hope all of you are fine. Today I am going to discuss Ohm's law. This Ohm's law you have already studied in class 10. Here we will discuss in detail. You know that current flows through a conductor only when we apply potential difference across its ends. Now by Ohm's law, it states that under constant physical conditions like temperature, mechanical strain, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends. So if I be the current flowing through a conductor at certain instant, when potential difference applied across its ends is V, then by Ohm's law I is proportional to V, or we can write V proportional to I, or we can write V is equal to some constant of proportionality into I. Here this constant of proportionality is known as resistance of the conductor. So R is resistance. So we can write it as V over I is equal to some constant, and that constant is resistance. Actually resistance, it is an obstruction posed to the flow of electric current by its material. So we can draw a circuit diagram for verifying Ohm's law. If this is a conductor of resistance R, and if we apply potential difference V across its ends, let I be the current flowing through it. Now for measurement of current, we have to connect ammeter in series. So here I will connect ammeter. This is an ammeter. This end is negative, this is positive. And for measurement of potential difference across its ends, we have to connect voltmeter in parallel with it. This is voltmeter. This end is positive, and this end is negative. This is voltmeter. So we can calculate potential difference using this voltmeter and current using this ammeter. So the ratio of V over I gives the value of resistance. Now if we draw graph between potential difference and current, then if a material it follows Ohm's law, then graph will be straight line passing through the origin. So this curve is known as VI curve. So from this curve we can find resistance by finding its slope. So here slope of this curve is equal to del I over del V. Since V over I is R, so del I over del V is equal to 1 over R. Means slope is equal to 1 over R. So here slope gives the value of reciprocal of resistance. Means the larger the slope, smaller will be the resistance. We can also draw graph between these two terms by taking potential difference along y-axis and current along x-axis. Again this curve will be straight line, and this curve is known as IV curve. So in this case slope is equal to del V over del I, and that is equal to R. Means here slope directly gives the value of resistance. So in this case, larger the slope, larger will be the resistance. Means if we are having two curves for same material, at different temperatures. Let this be at temperature T1, this be at temperature T2. Then from the value of slope we can predict at which temperature the resistance of the conductor is large. So in this case, the slope of this curve is greater than the slope of this curve. So we can write the resistance R2 is greater than resistance R1 because slope of curve 2 or slope of 2 is greater than slope of 1. So means this temperature T2 is higher. T2 is greater than T1. So in this way we can predict the values of resistance from VI curve or IB curve. Now we will discuss the factors affecting resistance. On what factors the resistance of a material depends. In last class we have already discussed the relation between current and drift velocity. So if I am having a conductor of length L and we apply potential difference V across its ends, it is the area of cross section, and if I be the current flowing through it, then we have already derived the relation between current and drift velocity. Electrons are moving toward this side. Drift velocity is toward this side. So we have derived this relation I is equal to A N E BD, where N is the number of electrons per unit volume, A is the area of cross section, E is the electronic charge, and BD is the drift velocity. So if I write it in terms of electric field, then it is equal to A N E tau over M. So this E is electric field and tau is average relaxation time. The direction of electric field is from positive to negative. So direction of electric field is toward this side. This is equal to A and E square tau over M into E. Also, we know that this E can be written as V over L because E is equal to minus dV by dr. We already know that relation. So this is equal to A and E square V over L tau. Or from this we can write V over I is equal to N E square tau over M M L over N E square tau A So this is V over I. That can be written as M over N E square tau. You can take in bracket and L over E. Now from this relation we can see here L is the length of the conductor, A is the area of cross section, means these are the dimensions of the conductor. Now N for given conductor, N, M and E, they are constant. This tau is average relaxation time and it is dependent on temperature. This tau is directly proportional to temperature. So tau is not directly proportional, it is inversely proportional to temperature. 1 over temperature. Now at constant temperature we can say that this V over I is equal to some constant into L by A, and we already know this V over I is R. Here this constant is rho. Here rho is known as resistivity. Rho is resistivity. Resistivity of the material. Now what is resistivity? We will discuss it. So here this rho is equal to m over n T square tau. So if we saw from this relation the factors which affect resistance, are, the first factor is this length of the conductor. Means resistance is directly proportional to length. Second is the area of cross section of the conductor. And resistance is inversely proportional to this area of cross section. And we can combine these two, so 1 and 2 implies R is proportional to L by A, or R is equal to this constant L by A. And this constant, from this relation we see that it is a function of temperature. So the third factor we can write as temperature. So resistance of a conductor depend upon three factors: length of the conductor, area of cross section, and temperature. As far as length is concerned, resistance is directly proportional to length of the conductor. As I said, resistance is the obstruction to the flow of current. So if larger the length of the conductor, electrons has to travel larger path, means they will suffer more obstruction. So resistance is proportional to length. Second, it is inversely proportional to area. Larger the area of cross section, smaller will be the resistance. And third factor is the temperature. The effect of temperature we will discuss in detail. It is different depending upon the material. That is, effect of temperature is different for conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. So as far as conductors are concerned, if we increase the temperature, then we saw that this tau will decrease, and if tau decrease, then resistivity will increase. Now what is resistivity? First we see that what is resistivity. So from here we can see that resistivity is equal to R A over L. So if A is equal to 1, L is equal to 1, then rho is equal to R. Means we can say that resistivity is the resistance per unit length per unit area of cross section of the conductor. As far as unit of resistance and resistivity is concerned, unit of SI unit of resistance is ohm. SI unit of resistance is ohm, or it is written as this symbol. And SI unit of resistivity is you can see from this expression it is ohm meter. We can write it as, so this is the unit of resistivity. Actually the main difference between resistivity and the resistance is resistivity is the property of the material, but the resistance is the property of the wire. Means resistance for a conductor is different depending on the dimensions of the conductor. If length of the conductor is large, then resistance will be large, but this resistivity at particular temperature, it has same value for a conductor for any dimensions. That is, it is the property of the material. If for example I am having a copper wire, one of length 1 meter and another of length 2 meter of same area of cross section, then the copper wire of length 2 meter will have larger resistance as compared to that of 1 meter. But if both the wires are at same temperature, then their resistivity will be same. So resistivity, it is the property of the material, and at fixed temperature its value is same for any dimensions of the material. But resistance, it changes with the dimensions. So these are the factors on which resistance of the material depends. Now we can write the microscopic form of Ohm's law, or Ohm's law in vector form. Before that, what is current density? It is denoted by J. Actually, if there is certain area of cross section and current flowing through it is I, then the current per unit area of cross section is known as current density, current over area. Means I over A is equal to J. We have already seen current is scalar quantity, but this current density, it is a vector quantity. So we can write this current as J dot A. So current density, it is a vector quantity and it has same direction as that of the flow of current. Unit of J is unit of current over unit of area, that is ampere per meter square. Now as I said, by Ohm law, V over I is equal to R, and also this R is equal to rho L by A, so we can write V over I is equal to rho L by A, or from here we can write V over L is equal to rho I over A, and this V over L, it can be written as electric field. Rho I over A is current density J, so we can write J is equal to E over rho, and that is equal to, we can write as E into sigma, where this sigma is reciprocal of resistivity, and reciprocal of resistivity is known as conductivity. So this is conductivity. So here we write in vector form J is equal to sigma E. This is the microscopic form of Ohm's law, or we can say that this is Ohm's law in vector form. So one in mathematical equation for Ohm's law is V is equal to IR, or V over I is equal to R, and second one is J is equal to sigma E. So this is all about Ohm's law. Here the reciprocal of resistivity is known as conductivity, and its SI unit is ohm inverse, meter inverse, or it is also known as Siemens, or we can write as capital S. So this is not Siemens. Only the SI unit is this ohm inverse, meter inverse. That Siemens is the unit of conductance. Conductance is reciprocal of resistance. Conductance is denoted by G, and that is equal to 1 by R, and its SI unit is ohm inverse, simply ohm inverse, or it is also known as Siemens. We can write capital S, or SI unit of conductance, which is reciprocal of resistance. So last is now effect of temperature on resistivity and resistance. Effect of temperature on resistivity. So as I discussed, if rho is the resistivity, then rho is equal to m over n e square tau. Here this m is mass of the electron, n is the number of electrons per unit volume, e is the charge on electron, and tau is the average relaxation time. And this tau is a function of temperature. Means we can say that this resistivity, it is a function of temperature for a given conductor. Now, if we discuss about conductors, for metals. So for metals, there are large number of free electrons, and if we increase the temperature, how this tau will be affected? If we increase the temperature, then the collisions of the electron with the material of the conductor, they increases. Or we can say that this tau, it decreases with increase in temperature. So with the decrease in temperature, tau decreases. So resistivity, it will increase. So for metals, we can say that resistivity is directly proportional to temperature. means with rise in temperature resistivity increases, or we can say that conductivity it decreases with increase in temperature in case of metals. Now what about semiconductors? For semiconductors, actually semiconductors they behave as insulators at 0 Kelvin, means with the rise in temperature their conductivity increases. So we can say that in case of semiconductors the resistivity it decreases with the rise in temperature. Now why it happens? In case of semiconductors, when we increase the temperature, these two factors are affected, N and tau. So with rise in temperature, N increases, and tau in case of semiconductor again it decreases. But the increase in N it dominates the decrease in tau. So means more effect is on this N, or we can say that with increasing temperature N increases, or resistivity it decreases with increase in temperature. So for semiconductors we can say that resistivity is inversely proportional to temperature, and same is the effect in case of insulators. For insulators also resistivity is inversely proportional to temperature. So for metals resistivity increase with increase in temperature, and for for semiconductors and insulators resistivity decreases with rise in temperature, or their conductivity increases. We will discuss the effect on resistivity or conductivity of temperature in detail in last unit, that is electronic devices. So for we see mathematically the effect of temperature on conductors, resistivity of the conductors. So for metals or conductors, if ρ1 be the resistivity at temperature T1, and let ρ2 be the resistivity when temperature is increased to T2, then means as we increase the temperature this resistivity also increase. Now this increase in resistivity is proportional to initial resistivity, and also it is proportional to rise in temperature. So we can write it as ρ2 minus ρ1 is equal to some constant. That constant is alpha ρ1 T2 minus T1. This alpha is known as temperature coefficient of resistivity. Alpha is equal to ρ2 minus ρ1 over ρ1 into T2 minus T1, and it is known as temperature coefficient of resistivity. So we can define this temperature coefficient of resistivity as the ratio of change in resistivity per unit initial resistivity per degree rise in temperature. We can also write it as if T1 is equal to 0 degree Celsius, T2 is equal to T degree Celsius, and if at 0 ρ1 is ρ0 and if at temperature T this rho 2 is rho, then we can write rho minus rho naught is equal to alpha rho naught T, or we can write rho is equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha T. So we can use these relations for calculating resistivity when we are given two temperatures, initial and final temperature, and also the value of this alpha will be given. So now this value of alpha, again it is different for different materials. Its SI unit is unit of temperature inverse, that is per degree Celsius or Kelvin inverse. Now from here we can see that for metals whether the value of alpha is positive or negative. So with increase in temperature the resistivity increases in case of metals. So we can write for metals alpha is positive. So alpha positive means with increase in temperature resistivity increases. For insulators and semiconductors its value is negative. For semiconductors and insulators the value of alpha is negative, that is alpha is negative. There are certain other materials which are alloys for which the value of alpha is very small. Means for those alloys the effect of temperature is least, or we can say that the resistivity of alloys it is not affected by temperature. So alloys like nichrome, manganese, tungsten, the value of alpha for those alloys is small, and that's why those alloys are used for making standard resistors. Actually we need resistors where their value do not change with change in temperature. So for that use materials like nichrome, manganese, tungsten. So for these materials alpha is very small. Very small means their resistivity it do not change with change in temperature, and that's why these materials are used for making standard resistors. Also their resistivity is very high. So we can write same formula for resistance as resistance is rho Ly A, means resistance is proportional to rho. So we can write this alpha as R2 minus R1 over R1 T2 minus T1, or we can write R is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha T. So means we can use this formula also for calculating resistance at certain temperature when the value of resistance is given for some initial temperature, if we know the value of this alpha. So this is about factors affecting resistance and factors affecting resistivity. So today we discussed Ohm's law, then resistance, resistivity, factors affecting resistance, resistivity, and we saw that resistance it is dependent on dimensions of the conductor as well as temperature, but resistivity it depends only on temperature and it do not depend upon dimensions of the conductor. One thing more, if a conductor is stretched to n times its initial length, then how the resistance changes? The formula is R dash is equal to n square R. Means if we stretch a wire to double its length, then the new resistance will be 2 square into R, that is 4 times. Similarly, if a wire is stretched such that its length become thrice of the initial length, in that case R dash is equal to 3 square into R, that is 9R. So with this I stop here. I wish that you stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.